Ellen, thanks. Today is Wisconsin's spring election. We have team coverage for you as voters head to the polls. The Wisconsin Supreme Court seat, the only statewide race on the ballot. Liberal Judge Chris Taylor and conservative Judge Maria Lazar are the candidates. They're battling it out for a 10-year term to replace retiring conservative Justice Rebecca Bradley. You'll also see a range of local races and referendums on your particular ballot. In Appleton, the Appleton Area School District, one of 72 school districts statewide, hoping for a yes vote. Appleton asking voters for a total of $60 million over the next 4 years. If passed, the money would cover the district's $13 million budget deficit this year, but also give an extra $2 million per year to pay school counselors and social workers full time. We have team coverage of the election tonight. There's also a referendum in Fond du Lac, and our chief political reporter starts things off, Jason Zimmerman. He's keeping an eye on that and more. He is live in the studio. Jason.
Cami, I spoke to the Fond du Lac County Clerk just a short time ago. She says voter turnout is definitely down compared to the spring election a year ago, with one big exception, and that's areas with school referendums on the ballot. She believes that that one issue is driving people to the polls today instead of the state Supreme Court race that grabbed so much attention the previous 2 years when the balance of the court was at stake. As for Fond du Lac, the district is seeking $30 million over 4 years following a failed $40 million school referendum just last year. If approved, approximately $4 million of the total would fund 3 secure entrances at the high school and surveillance systems throughout the district. The superintendent has tried making the case to voters that the district is behind on security upgrades. Like many other districts, Fond du Lac has faced declining enrollment and a structural budget deficit. Previously, the school board cut 70 staff positions following last year's failed vote, and up to 30 more positions are expected to be cut next school year, regardless of the referendum outcome. Some residents have raised concerns over the amount of the request, which would raise their taxes. A large number of other school districts also have referendums on the ballot. You can find a full list on our website, WBAY.com. Cami, back to you.